corners and memorize what's on them and think about what's on them and think about, oh, this is on this corner and the other corner is such and such. And then I then expand to other corners and kind of connect the dots. I look for assistance sometimes on corners because I know I'm not Superman and can't do absolutely everything and anything, and I can't see signs, so therefore I do require a little bit of help in terms of vision. I'm going to distract myself for a moment. Here, there is a pool. My cane touches this pool, so I know it's here. This is a bus stop. Here's a bus bench I passed. I've been to this before, and I also memorize where bus stops and bus benches are. For a blind person, it's very useful because we cannot drive, so memorizing those are very useful and where you can start catching buses. That's part of the memorization. But so after I ask for sighted assistance and get to those places, at one point I started walking along the streets. What if instead of taking the bus, I walked from this stretch to that stretch, that light to that light? And I eventually figured that out, and city by city, you kind of get the idea. So here's another little interesting tidbit. I am approaching two very major streets. These are different. At this point, I've only crossed minor streets. Now this is a very major boulevard. Los Coyotes and Woodruff. I'm going to take off my headphones and listen with both ears. We're going to wait for the next light. You can probably see this one is green. Well, they're turning, so maybe not anymore. But how do I know? I listen. Cars sound like they're going in front of me now. What I listen for in the cars beside me is the surgeons. Imagine you're driving and you're at an intersection, you're stopped. And to proceed, you rev your engine and you go. So we'll listen. Let's clear. There's nothing there. Let's listen attentively. The cars are still bustling by ahead. I think those are Turners. straight. Now, I clear, I step up. So, and I can feel this stoplight right here. So walk more to the right, and I'm on the sidewalk. Now, this is a store. It's a market. The closest one to our house, or one of them. Well, it's the closest one. On the other corners are a shopping center, mostly food. Hang on. And I'm back on this mic. So I kind of think when I first walked around here, you know, houses, more houses. Okay, I cross the island to a bus stop and a little more houses, and then I cross this major street and I get to a shopping center with some shops and a big supermarket, pavilions. And I walk all along this walk here, and then I cross another street. I cross this street to my left, and then I walk 4 blocks to my left on Spring, which is the street up ahead, and I get to a street named Palo Verde, or Palo Verde, and then I wait for the bus there. There's a bus stop, and here's a grate. So sometimes what I do with streets, as I cross the major one after I listen, is sometimes I veer a little bit in block so I don't walk out into the traffic. Because it's to my peril or anybody's peril to walk into that. I know I have a tendency to veer right. So, and sometimes left. So, I try to keep a good distance from the cars. You know, you do what makes sense to keep alive and keep well and keep oriented. So, let's go back to even more basic things. There's 2 ways of using this cane. Now you know how I travel around a little bit. and don't run into things. There is tap, trail, tap, trail, tap, trail. This is the trailing technique. 3-point touch. So I know there's plants right next to me. Or there's this. This is called constant contact. I'm supposed to be in step. If this leg is out, it's supposed to be over here. If this leg is out, it's supposed to be over here. I know I have not been doing that all the time. My rhythm in general is pretty bad, including the in-step and in-rhythm stuff. Or I could be tapping my cane. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take a step tap, take a step tap, take a step tap, take a step tap. And it's supposed to go from side to side, covering about my body with. That would be kind of the correct way to hold it. I can get a little sloppy, but I do myself well enough. I don't know if you hear, but I've heard a car door slam once. Can you hear people? I can hear them. For one thing, that's how I can avoid bumping into people by listening. Not eavesdrop on anybody. Alright, so I keep walking along. And let me see something. So we've been going for about half an hour, which is pretty good. There's canes that are made from different materials. I have one that is fiberglass, or carbon fiber, of course. I have one that is aluminum, one that is graphite. It's my turn to cross again, so I'm going to focus. Okay, let's press this button.